Let's all take that step forward and take a little bit more risk, because I believe that is what is needed to really deliver the transition. So my name is Ask Møller-Nielsen, and I'm a Dane, as the name sort of suggests. I've been in Grundfos actually for a bit more than 10 years now, but doing many different tasks. I grew up in politics, and that's also how I started in Grundfos as a lobbyist, basically, but then held many different positions since then. And now I am in a role as what we call head of solutions and marketing, but basically product management, marketing globally within our water utility division.
Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. What's been the highlight of GWS this year?
It's a two-way street, right? Because we certainly collect a lot of input and take the temperature, if you will, on the industry and all of the players in it. And I think that is one of the strengths of the Global Water Summit. You can find utilities, you can find bankers, you can find, people with the money, and everyone is here. So it's easy to get that input. But at the same time, of course, we also try to get our message out, whether that's from the sustainability angle or it's more of, you could say, our commercial priorities, right? It's intense days, but it's rewarding and energizing. I think a highlight for me, honestly, has been the dialogue with the 300 Leaders Group, which is a group of utility leaders, especially from what you could call the Global South, because it's leaders who deal with actually, exactly the same challenges as any other utilities. They just have a more difficult starting point, financially, politically, in many different ways. And I think that has been really interesting and rewarding for me to engage with that group of leaders. From what I took away from the dialogue, at least, was really, that ability to share knowledge, share experience. And chances are that there's always someone else who has faced exactly the same challenge as yourself or are facing it right now. And then that group is really a forum where you can go and you can trust each other and get some input. I think this year's headline about really creating the water transformation and delivering it is I think a good headline. Yes. Because the tricky part there is really the delivering part, right? And I think it's good discussions, and I think for a company like us, we try to do our part. We try to constantly sort of move forward and deliver more to support that journey. So this is a good opportunity to really sort of take stock of where we are and what is the next step that we need to take as a company.
Absolutely. And I know that delivering is very important. Your mission to bring water access to 300 million people by 2030. What makes Grundfos particularly well placed for this, and how does your new financing model fit into this project?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a good example of the type of company that Grundfos is. We are a very purpose-driven company, and due to the fact that we are owned by a family foundation, also we have the opportunity and the luxury to be patient with some of the initiatives that we take. So the founder of Grundfos was wise enough to place the majority of the Grundfos shares in a family foundation, and that foundation is really put in place to support the purpose and the values behind Grundfos. So that means that we are still, a commercial operation, and we need to deliver a profit, but we can be a little bit more patient about it. So something like our ambition to really deliver clean drinking water to 300 million people is a super difficult thing to do. It requires a lot of effort, which in the short run is difficult and takes time away from other things. But we keep our heads down and keep hammering on it, both because we believe it's the right thing to do, but also because we believe it's a smart business decision in the long run. We've set ourselves a target to deliver safe drinking water to 300 million people that do not have it today. And we started a couple of years ago. We have now reached 70 million, which we are proud of, but we also want to accelerate. And one of the things that we are doing now to sort of take the next step in that journey is to really help utilities improve their performance of the existing assets that they have, because by doing that, they get a more solid financial situation, which will allow them to do the needed additional investments in new infrastructure. So it's really about sort of improving the performance of the existing assets out there to then help finance the next ones. And that's where we have then said, we are happy now to take a step forward, take some of the risk, and really, deliver some of these solutions with no capex, you could say, from the utility on the table, but then pay back with the savings.
I also understand that Grundfos has been on quite the digital transformation journey recently. How would you describe where you are and as a digital solutions provider? And how does being shortlisted for AI Project of the Year play into this?
So we are really proud to be shortlisted for the AI prize this year, and I think it's a good example of where we are with our digital journey, because that specific project is a real solution to a real problem. This digital agenda has been around for a while, and it's not always easy to sort of fully grasp what's really in it and what are we actually solving for. But this is very tangible solution to a rising main in a sewer line. And I think that is where we're at right now, and which is why we are super excited about our digital portfolio of offerings, because we feel that we can now deliver something to the utilities that tap into and solve real problems. So I think that's a good example of where we're at.
The Truuvert acquisition signals a bigger shift in water treatment. How does that shift sit along your precise dosing solutions?
Yeah, so Grundfos has for quite a while been on a journey to really expand our capabilities within water treatment, with the strategy really to be able to close the water loop, if you will, and sort of create that circularity, whether that's in the industrial space or in the municipal space. As you allude to, we already have some offerings in that space on the chemical dosing part, but we've been acquiring companies to really create a platform that will enable us to deliver solutions to really tie that loop together, if you will, whether that's in the industrial space or in the municipal space. So Truuvert is the latest acquisition in that string of acquisitions that we've done, and I mean that's a good representation of part, at least, of our acquisition strategy.
Wonderful, thank you. And looking ahead, what's the one thing you want the industry to know about where Grundfos is heading overall?
So I mean, we believe, and I think it's fair to say, that we are relatively well known for our pumps, which we are super proud of, and will definitely continue to make those and continue to set the bar high for that technology. But I think, coming back to the whole theme of the Global Water Summit this year, to really, deliver the water transformation, we have then also been asking ourselves, okay, how do we then take that next step? How do we help the industry deliver? And this, part of the answer that we need to take a little bit of a step forward into applications that we know well, financial risks, right? So this is where new financial models for utilities comes in. This is where both our digital developments internally, but also acquisitions come in. And then finally also in the treatment space, really sort of step forward. We've driven a number of acquisitions in that space to be able to do more. So I think, my hope would be that in a couple of years from now, we are still recognized for our solid pump technology, but also recognized as a player in the industry who really delivers on the transformation.
Absolutely. Ask, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and I hope that everyone else found that as informative as I did. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot for having me.